You know when men call themselves alpha? You kinda cringe a little. What about when someone calls themselves the Christian alpha? Videos designed to make men better Christians from an alpha sense.
This channel is specifically designed for men to become better Christian men from an alpha sense.
See, I'm not making it up. Well, he has a video explaining why atheism is a lie. And it's part 1 of a series that never continued. Maybe he explained why atheism is a lie in 12 minutes and 40 seconds and then felt like he'd won YouTube and stopped making videos. I don't know, but let's take a look. Hello, I'm the Skeptic, the British floating circle that watches people make extraordinary claims, and then I explain why I don't accept what they're saying. We all know that we're kidding ourselves or just outright lying when it comes to being atheist, right? Well, perhaps, according to this fella, he's got something written in a book that explains why atheism is absolutely false. Maybe he knows better than me why I'm not convinced of any gods. That does seem like alpha mentality. However, before we discover what we're lying about, if this isn't your first Skeptic video, hit the like, the subscribe and the bell, and maybe we can con the algorithm into working better for us all. And a super thanks to those that hit super thanks in some recent videos. Elizabeth and Todd. Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe bestows leaves upon you. More hen. Okay, buddy, tell me why I'm telling lies. Telling sweet little lies.
Hi, welcome back to the Christian Alpha. Today we are going to be covering a topic that personally I believe is untrue. Now there will be those that disagree with me and say, no, it's absolutely something that happens. But I'm going to go to the Bible and look at it today and give you a reason for why I think atheism is absolutely false.
Whoa now, because a book has some words in it, that's why I'm not convinced of a God's existence. Buddy, do you even know what atheism is? I can't wait to hear what these words are and how you're the first person out of the billions of Christians over the years to discover their true meaning. Eye roll.
And it is a lie, and people who say they're atheists are lying to themselves as well as others.
It's like he knows me. I get up every morning, do what I've got to do, then look in the mirror and say, Skeptic, you've got another day of lying to yourself about the existence of all the gods. You know it's true, but good luck getting through another day of pretending you don't think the gods exist. Or, you know, that's a really dumb thing to say, Alpha. So Foxtrot Oscar.
And so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into the book of Genesis here, and we're going to look and see what God had to say. Yes, it goes all the way back to creation and how we were formed.
How we were formed? Didn't they teach you anything at school? Did you go outside and play with the dirt to try and make a baby? There are much more fun ways of doing that.
And we're going to go from there. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So we're going to start here in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3, where it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. Now we're going to skip past the first few verses and jump down to verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so.
Well, hang on. Why are you missing parts? Surely it's all relevant. And the God apparently made light, but when did it make the sun? You know, the thing that demonstrably provides our natural light. Not until verse 16. So either the God is lying about the order, or it was written by people who don't understand the basics of stuff, and it's all just made up. Can we leave the video there? No? Okay, fine.
We're going to notice a pattern in the next few verses that I read. Look for these key phrases. And God said, and it was so.
And what does that demonstrate? In the book of Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe, Leave Be Upon Her, it says several times, especially around the parts about creating special brownies, that Lisa said, and it was so. So does that not demonstrate the existence of Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe, Leave Be Upon Her? I guess you have to start out with believing the book to be true and then using the book to confirm your belief, which is just stupid.
All right, so our next verse, we're going to look down at verse number 9. It says, and God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear. And it was so. Okay, second time we've seen this.
Reading is such alpha behaviour. Whew, but man, put some emotion into it. The patter is dull as dishwater.
Let's drop down to verse 11. It says, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. So here we go. We see more creation. We see, and God said, And it was so. Let's go ahead and drop to verses 14 and 15. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Again, and God said, and it was so. So let's go to Genesis verse 20.
Oh, how convenient. Jumping over the bit about making the two skylights because that proves how stupid all this is, especially since one of the two lights isn't even a light. It's a reflector.
It says, and God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly a moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and the open firmament of heaven. We're going to skip to verse 24.
Why all the skipping? None of this explains why atheism is a lie. Unless you're going to go, but the God says it was so, too much for it to not be a lie. I really hope that isn't where this is going.
Then God said, let the earth bring forth living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. So he made sea life, he made land life. He made his different things, right? So verse 24. So we're going to drop to verse 26 here. And God said, let us make man in our image. Okay, I'm going to stop there, skip to verse 30.
Listen to what you just said, though. Our image. So the God is talking to who? Other gods?
And every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. Now, if you want to know exactly what he's talking about here, he makes man, he gives him dominion over the man, or over all the beasts and everything on the earth. He lets Adam name everything. But either way, what we're looking at, and God said, and it was so.
Thank you for explaining what God said make a cow means, because the dummies at the back had no idea.
All right, now we're going to jump to chapter 2 and verse number 7. It says, and the Lord God formed man to the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
We've all seen the cinnamon challenge. I bet the God coughed up a load after putting a dusty nose in its mouth.
Okay, so we see that God said, and it was so. Okay, when you speak, what do you put forth? You put forth sound waves. You put forth energy. You put forth a frequency. Everybody's voice has a different frequency. We know this from physics.
Why is what you think physics says relevant, but not how humans come to be? Why are you picking and choosing?
And so here we are. God has created everything by the sound of his voice. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. It was so.
Not quite. It apparently created everything by speaking it into existence, but needed a little bit of dust to make a human. So an entire planet with only words. But one specific creature needed an extra ingredient. Sorry, mate. I just don't buy any of it.
You know, and God said, let dry land appear. And it was so. And God said, let the moon, sun, and the stars. And it was so. And God said, let there be sea life, and it was so. And God said, let there be land life, and it was so. And God created man from the dust of the ground, and it was so. Everything was done from God's voice, so everything has a frequency. And we see this if we just look up.
Wait. You've done research to confirm if a book that claims something actually claims something?
What Einstein said. So here's a quote from Einstein that I looked up earlier. This is what Einstein said. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency to the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. So we have some proof there that when God spake, and it was so, that everything has a frequency, because everything was made from God's voice here.
No, that's not what Einstein said. He just confirmed something about energy. What you did was go, well, I believe in a God, so Einstein must be talking about the God. Any rational mind would just accept Einstein was talking about energy and then gone, cool.
Okay, so I'm going to take this to a point here, right? People who say they are atheists have to lie to themselves. This is the reason why when I have met atheists and agnostics, there's a common theme there.
One doesn't believe and one doesn't know?
One is this. I tell them that I'm a Christian, that I believe in God, and I believe that God has something for me in my life. They say they do not. But what happens every time I'm around this person again? I have a very good friend. He's a very good friend of mine. I hang out with him. He absolutely claims to be agnostic. But the one thing he can't stop talking to me about is God.
I know, I do that too. I just can't stop talking about Thor, but mostly because I think Hemsworth's portrayal of him is pretty dope.
He absolutely cannot stop talking to me about God. And I think I know the reason why. My friend Seema, she goes to work. She works with people who say they are atheists, they are agnostics. The one thing they cannot stop talking to her about every time they get around her is God. And I'm going to tell you the reason why, and the reason why I believe this. And the reason I believe this is because you're made of energy.
I thought we were made of dust. Make your mind up, buddy.
You're made of a frequency. Now, there's a group of people out there that deal with energy a lot. And if you've ever been around one of these people, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's people that deal with Reiki.
What? I did not see that coming.
Which is a form of witchcraft. And if you don't believe me, when you meet someone who deals with Reiki, ask them, are you a witch? In which the response will be yes.
A Christian unfairly calling someone a witch? Huh. Where have we seen that before?
You stinking witch!
You need to get out and meet some folks, mate. I know a few folks that practice Reiki as a form of meditation, but that don't think there's any real supernatural energy control. That definitely wouldn't say they're practicing witchcraft. Why do these folks have to be scared of everything they don't understand?
Because they're dealing in witchcraft, but they're dealing with energy. So if you haven't heard of Reiki, all right, let's go here. Reiki is an energy healing technique in which the Reiki master who has undergone formal training in this healing art uses gentle hand movements with the intention to guide and flow of the health energy. What is known as Reiki is a life force through the client's body to reduce stress and promote healing.
Oh, well, if nothing else, he has some great ASMR to help people sleep.
Now, honestly, I think the Christians miss this part. Because we are energy, later on in the Bible, when someone is sick, bring them to the elders of the church, have them be anointed with oil, lay hands and pray on them for their healing. It doesn't talk about going to the doctor and all this other stuff that a lot of people do.
Hang on! Please, if you think you need medical assistance, please go to a doctor. Do not listen to this guy and pray it away. Prayer doesn't work. It's like masturbation. It just makes you feel good. It does nothing for anyone else.
It talks about bringing them to the elders of the church and having them anoint with oil and healing. I think the Reiki folks get this, even though they are, well, most of them, witches.
So a guy is using something he doesn't believe in to demonstrate why other folks who don't believe in something are wrong. Hang on, I quit. I think I've had enough internet for today.
I think there's truth in a lot of things in this earth, and I think they've got a hold of that truth, but now because they're considered witchcraft, we should not give these people the time of day.
Make your mind up. Does energy prove atheists are lying or what?
They go through exactly what it says here, with intention to guide the flow of healthy energy. And that's because why? Because everything around us is energy. Let's think back to grade school when you're in science class, right? And they start teaching you about atoms and molecules, right? What are atoms and molecules? Well, they're little tiny things you can't see but with a microscope, and they just move around. That means my hand is made of atoms and molecules. This Bible is made of atoms and molecule. This table I'm sitting at is atoms and molecule. Everything has energy. Everything has frequency. Everything gives off a frequency. And if you look up, everything is energy, or everything has a frequency. You just run across headline after headline after headline here of everything has all objects, or here's a good definition for you. All objects have a natural frequency or set of frequencies at which they vibrate. The quality or timbre of, I think it's pretty timbre, of the sound produced by a vibrating object is dependent upon the natural frequencies of the sound waves produced by the objects.
Timbre, darling, not timbre or timber. Sounds like that grade school education failed you on many levels.
The hippies were right. It's all about vibrations, man. That's the second one. That's from Scientific American. We go down, Cora, what does it mean? Someone says everything has a frequency, and then there's a bunch of answers for that.
But I bet not one of those things says God. You're just going, the book says a God did these things equal energy, so I'm going to take them together and call it an art project. It still doesn't demonstrate why atheism is a lie. I'm still not convinced. And so your video is just wrong, bud.
USB, I don't know what this is, but it just says everything in life is a vibration. Reddit, more people asking questions about the frequency. Medium says the universe is made up of frequency and vibration of energy. Project Me says everything is vibrational energy, including you. Stack Exchange does everything in this world vibrate. Why? I mean, here's just the headlines. It's scientific that everything out there has energy. It has some kind of frequency. And why? Well, if we take it back to Genesis 1, we see why.
And that's the issue. If a Muslim takes it back to the Quran and makes the same arguments, does that then mean you're lying about Allah? As my friend Professor Plink rightly says, very musically, you have a massive issue before you've even started, beta guy. You have to demonstrate the Bible is even the word of a God before we can accept what's in it as remotely true. And even then, we'd have a ton of contradictions to iron out. The first 2 Genesis chapters not lining up would be the first stop.
Because God spoke everything into existence. Now, why do I say that atheism is a lie? Okay. It's going to be real simple. It's going to be real quick.
I don't know about that. It's taken you 9 minutes and 41 seconds to get to this point.
Because God said, and it was so.
Oh, I guess that's it then. Atheism is a lie because one of the many thousands of gods said so. Great argument.
That means every molecule of your body is a frequency of God's voice. It means every molecule, this table, this Bible, this notebook, this lamp behind me, everything is a frequency of God's voice. Everything that was made, whether it's the flowers, whether it's the your car, anything that was made, it was made from a frequency from God's voice.
No, you're just saying stuff you haven't demonstrated. This is not how things work, Delta. Come on, do better.
So when somebody says, I'm an atheist, I don't believe there's a God. Well, you're having to deny everything inside of you to say that you're an atheist.
Nope. In this instance, I'm saying I still don't believe in a God because your reasoning is stupid. You've just taken something and gone, what is voice? What is sound? What is energy? Oh, that makes sense to something I believe in and I'm confirming my own bias.
You're having to deny every molecule of your body that says, I was made by God.
No, you're saying it was made by a God. Prove it.
Because you have to deny everything in your body to say, I was made by God to be this atheist that you so claim to be.
No, I'm really just not convinced that your God exists. And if this is the best you have to prove the existence of your God, I might even go as far as saying that I'm convinced your God doesn't exist.
And that's why I think atheists have a hard time, because every time I meet one, the only thing they want to talk to me about is God. They don't even want to talk about so much about football or about golf or anything that I'm interested in. Hey, Six Flags. I love going to Six Flags and riding roller coasters. They don't even want to talk about that. All they want to talk about is the fact that they want to deny God, which in denying God, they have to deny themselves because every molecule in their body says there is a God.
Wrong again, matey. You say every molecule in their body says there's a God, but that's because you've got 2 and 2 and made 3017. Nothing in the Bible says anything about molecules or frequencies. You've just gone, it must mean this. That's not how you prove stuff.
But yet they have to deny that. I heard a pastor years ago, he said this, and I agree with him. His name's Johnny Pope. He's down in Texas, if anybody wants to look him up. But he said, people that go to hell are going where they want to go.
And you can go there too. There's a hell for certain right here in Kentucky. But that other place also hasn't been demonstrated to exist, so don't worry about it. Side note, of course a loving God that wants to save you from a place it apparently created to torture you in if you don't accept it doesn't give you proof of its existence to help you avoid going there. So ridiculous.
Well, I can't deny that. Because what is hell at the end of the day? Well, it's fire, it's darkness, it's...
Oh, right. That dark fire, because people don't use fire as a light source. Are you okay, mate?
Everlasting burning, it's where the soul dieth not, is where the worm dieth not. I mean, And this is hell, right? But what is really hell? Hell is separation from God.
I don't know. Hell might be listening to a man trying to make the Bible confirm energy to confirm a God's existence.
And because people want to deny themselves, they want to deny what they internally know, they accept this separation from God. They go to where they want to go, and that is hell.
And because a self-proclaimed alpha whose mission is to make men better Christians says that atheists are going to a made-up place because they don't accept some made-up words that absolutely don't prove a made-up God, it must be true. Really doing a great job of being a better Christian here, Echo. Well, it seems as though you have to start out accepting the Bible to be true before any of the rest of this video makes a tiny bit of sense. Sorry, dude. Still not convinced. Still not denying something I don't think has ever been real. But good try, I guess. How do you think this Christian alpha did? Did you find his argument convincing? Or did you just agree that he lacked any real energy? Let me know in the section below. I'm going to skeptic this as no lying from atheists. A big thank you to this month's top level ticks on Patreon. George, Godless Granny, Addy Rockart, The Enixes, Jakari, Elizabeth, Whiskey Tech Fred, Rick and Travis, as well as all the $3 base ticks. You can become a supporter on Patreon too at patreon.com/theskeptic. The link is in the description along with links to all my other socials. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically, and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.